the recording is officially on. If you don't wish to be viewed or participate, just please know that the recording is on. But anyone who's comfortable, I would love it if you would share your camera so we could all see each other and get to know each other. This meeting is for the HerUpland Falconry Camp. If you are expecting anything else, sorry, get off. You're in the wrong spot. But if you're coming to Falconry Camp, you are in the right place. And I wanted to start with just a little introduction of HerUpland, because I realized HerUpland is very focused and started in the uplands and gun hunting space. And the mission of HerUpland is to encourage women to get out into nature and out into the uplands, to support bird dog training and encourage ladies to get out in the fields with their bird dogs, conservation, and supporting the organizations who do things in the areas and fields that you participate in, and supporting those conservation organizations, and also mentorship. So bringing other women along to do and enjoy the things that we love and enjoy. And falconry is directly related to many of those and also slightly adjacent to some of those. So when we brought up the idea of a falconry camp as a means of encouraging women who maybe weren't into gun hunting or who wanted a different means of getting into the field, that was something the HerUpland board jumped on quickly and was very excited about. So we are stoked to be able to bring this as a HerUpland camp to all of you. Oop, there goes my desk. Stop doing that, desk. Okay. Yep. So we're super excited to be able to bring that to everybody. And I would love to start with just a quick introduction of who's on the call. I can call you out so it doesn't get too chaotic. I'll call you out in the order that you're showing up on my screen, and introduce to the rest of the group who you are, what you're doing here, what got you interested in falconry camp, anything else you want to share about us, maybe where you are in your falconry journey, if you have dogs, any of that other kind of stuff that you'd like to share. And then know that we're going to get through the meeting with kind of the stuff I need to share with everybody about camp. And then I'll dismiss anybody that doesn't need help with travel arrangements. We'll deal with travel arrangements and those who need to kind of coordinate all that after the formal meeting. So if you need help with travel arrangements, hang with us. If you're driving in or you're totally covered and you're not participating in any ride shares, feel free to bail. So start with intros, and I think we should just start with our fearless leader, Courtney, because she's on the call.
Hey, Sabrina, thank you for putting this together. I apologize. I have children that are kind of loud in the background, so I'll mute myself as soon as I'm done. But yes, I'm Courtney Bastian, the founder of HerUpland. Love seeing you all on here, and I'm super excited about what Sabrina is putting together for this falconry camp. She's put a lot into it, the planning, the details, right down to the people that she has coming to give you this amazing experience, which really is unique and different than you'll be able to get anywhere else. So thank you, Sabrina, for doing that. I unfortunately have to attend a wedding. Fortunately or unfortunately, I have a cousin's wedding in Phoenix that weekend, but I'm hoping to be down with you guys for at least Wednesday and Thursday before I have to hop up there and pick up my family at the airport. So looking forward to meeting all of you and learning more.
Awesome. I'm going to follow the order I see on the screen. So that puts Jane next. Jane, go ahead and introduce yourself to us. Oh, Jane appears to be frozen. Anybody else hear her? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Not just me? Okay. Jane, I'm going to let you fix your audio. We can't hear yet. And Gabriella, why don't you take us away?
Hi, I'm Gabriella. I'm based out of Wisconsin. I've always had an interest in falconry, but have never, really pursued it quite yet. I come from a background of wildlife rehabilitation, so I work with raptors through work, and so I'm hoping to learn more to improve the care for patients and conditioning before release. And then for dogs, I currently have a German short hair pointer and a Brittany.
Awesome. Welcome. We're stoked to have you. Next on my list is Isabella.
Hi, I'm Isabella. I live in Jersey City, which is across from New York City. I always grew up like in outdoors and in nature, but for the past like decade of my life, I've lived in an urban environment, which I truly despise. I really want a better connection with how food is like, hunting and bringing it and consuming it, and having that relationship with living. I have a Welsh Terrier named Junie. I evaluated her for earthwork a while back, and she's actually on the larger side of her standard. So our teacher, Richard Reynolds, who has Yak Terriers and Dachshunds, whole slew of dogs, suggested that maybe falconry would be something she'd excel at because she's gamey, but she's just on the bigger side for a terrier. So that's why I'm doing this. Yeah.
Awesome. We're stoked to have you. Next on my list is Diane, and you also have a youth coming. If you'd like to introduce yourself both, love to hear from you.
Hi, this is Diane. I'm still fiddling with the video here. I don't think I'm showing up with my camera. With me, I'm like one step up from Amish. A little bit of background, live just outside of Columbus, Ohio. I am a veterinarian for the past 27 years and was a wildlife ecologist before that. Second year falconry apprentice, flying red-tailed hawks. And my daughter was one of the recipients of the scholarship. So she and I will both be attending and really looking forward.
Awesome. So stoked to have you. Then I've got Emma.
Hey, can you see me? Hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. So I have no real background in falconry or hunting. I'm a dog trainer. I have a Malinois and a French Bulldog, so not really hunting dogs. I've always had an interest in falconry, but I live in Pennsylvania where it's pretty hard to find a mentor. It's just kind of a hard state to get past some regulations, from what I've found. So I'll have a camera with me if I can't be useful otherwise, but otherwise just kind of along for the ride.
Awesome. We're stoked to have you. And one of the things we hope to leave everybody with at the end of the camp is some of the resources in your state and how to connect with people and maybe even be able to personally connect you with someone within our mentor network. So super stoked to have you, Emma. Next on my screen is Erica.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. I'm in upstate New York. I actually do a great deal of sporting clay shooting. I haven't really done a lot of actual bird hunting. However, the falcon portion of it, I had gone to Ireland many, many years ago, and I had done a weekend falconry course, and I just absolutely love it. And I think about it all the time. So when I saw this as an opportunity, I thought it would be great to just go back to it because it was just so amazing the first time around.
Awesome. Welcome. Glad to have you. Next on my list here is Alexandra.
There.
See ya.
Great. I'm Alex. I am from Pennsylvania, so I'll be flying into camp. I'll be coming with my daughter, Juliana. She's 10 now, but will be 11 at the time. I'm a first-year apprentice flying a red tail. And my daughter's been experiencing the whole process with me. So I'm excited to come with her. Prior to this first year, I had no experience hunting at all. No experience dog training. I have a dachshund that I'm trying to work with, but that relationship is kind of on the back burner right now while I focus on my red tail.
Super awesome. And are you bringing your red tail? I didn't think someone's carrying.
I wish I could, but no,
Okay.
it's that won't work out. Mm-mm.
Okay, no worries. Well, we're super excited to have you both. Can't wait to meet you. Let's see. Next on my list think is Natalie.
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
We hear ya.
Cool. I'm in a dark car, so I won't turn my video on. I'm multitasking at another event. But my name's Natalie Sullivan, and I live in Missoula, Montana. I literally had no idea what falconry was until earlier this year. And I wish I had a good story about how I came about it, but I don't know, I was reading something and I was like, well, I could do that. And so I started reaching out, and I've been networking all year, looking for the right fit, mentor, sponsor. So I don't have a sponsor yet, but I have attended a couple of the Montana falconry meets, just one last weekend, which was amazing. I have a bird dog. My first bird dog is a poodle pointer. He's 8 months old, and I plan on bringing him. And I'm having a blast working on his training and with the local NAVDA, and really excited to do more HerUpland. A local friend of mine told me about HerUpland, and from what I've seen so far, it seems like an absolutely fantastic organization. So excited to be part of it.
That's awesome. We can't wait to have you. And Montana is a fabulous place both to be an upland hunter and a falconer. So all the things there, you are well covered. Next on my list is Deborah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Okay, hi. So I live near Albuquerque in Belen, but I moved here from New Hampshire, and I had a friend back in New Hampshire who was doing the falconing, but I never tried it. So when this opportunity came up, I jumped on it because it's not far, just 4 hours. I just am very curious about this whole thing. I do have sight hounds. I have Afghan hounds, not the show type, the ones that actually can catch something. So, so I do go with them, and I go with friends here in New Mexico. I'm so happy I moved because of all this BLM land, when we can actually walk your dog and have them and hunt with the sight hounds, which is actually illegal in New Hampshire, believe it or not. I mean, falconry is legal, but catching game with the dog, that's not illegal. Anyway, so that's why I'm coming to learn all about it. Thank you for this opportunity.
Deborah, are you going to bring your sight hounds with you?
I was told that it's better not to, so
Okay.
I'm okay with that. So I'm leaving all of them here. Yeah.
Okay.
In
Okay.
a kennel. In a kennel, yeah.
All right. Next on my list, one of our mentors, Carissa. Are you available on audio?
Give me 1 second. I'm getting my groceries and I'm checking out. Can
Okay.
you skip me and go next?
Yep, you touch base when you're ready to introduce yourself, and it can even be later.
All
and
right,
then I have
thank
a
you.
couple, yeah, I have a couple people logged in just as iPhones. Did I miss anybody, or does the iPhone person want to call themselves out?
I'm one of the iPhones. Are you able to hear me okay?
I can hear you, but who are you?
Oh, sorry, Kat O'Connell Valuch.
Awesome.
I'm here because Gabby told me about HerUpland. So thanks, Gabby. I'm new to falconry, and I'm looking forward to learning more about it. We have 2 hunting labs who are super birdie, and so it would probably not be a good idea to have them hang out with a bunch of birds. So they're not going to come with.
Awesome. Yeah, this isn't the prospect of introducing dogs to raptors can be kind of dangerous, and we will touch on it in camp. Once you have your own raptor and your own dog, you'll be able to do that safely. We'll talk to you about how that's handled, but for the sake of camp, we will not be introducing any foreign dogs to any raptors, since we don't know any of your dogs or any of your handling skills. And it's a better way to keep friends by not having to yell at someone because their dog did something rude. We will just not be doing that at camp. So any dogs that are coming will not be meeting raptors, just to kind of set that expectation right up front. So did I miss anybody else besides Carissa, who will jump in later? Everybody else got to speak? Gotcha. Thanks for the thumbs up. Okay, so first line of this. Oh, Jane, do you have your audio fixed? We didn't actually get to hear from you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, good. Thank you. I am falconry curious, I guess you could say. I've actually been a horsewoman my entire life, and I do have aspirations to hawk on horseback. I have I've been introduced to Jamaica Smith, and I'm real excited to meet her. And my gateway into falconry has been, I've been volunteering with a raptor bander, catching and banding and releasing Cooper's hawks in the area that I live in, which is Western Washington, which is probably not really conducive to hunting. I've never hunted, but I'm real interested in all of this. And I'm going to be retiring from my regular job in about 2.5 years. And this is what I want to do in my retirement. So I'm so excited to have found an all-women group, and I'm really excited to meet everybody. So looking forward to camp.
Awesome. Washington is a fabulous place to be a falconer. Huge diversity in species and opportunity, and you have some really great falconers up there that we would love to point you towards at the end of camp, because you have some exceptional falconers up in that area. Okay, awesome. Carissa, whenever you get a chance, just interrupt me and we'll dump you in here. It can be at the end. So first thing I wanted to address is housing and food, because we get a lot of questions about housing and food. So once you get to camp, you are housed and you are fed. That starts Wednesday night, we feed you, and it ends on basically Sunday morning, but we'll also make like Sunday lunches to disperse you into the field with. So you'll be fed all the days. You'll also be housed all the days. Our housing situation are kind of cabins / like casitas that have a shared dining space, a kitchen, and also a bathroom. You're not expected to use that kitchen space. It's just kind of a communal area for evenings, mornings, whatever needs to happen. And then bedrooms off to the sides. So there are some instances when people may be asked to share a bedroom. We're trying to keep that to either people who know each other, and certainly the chaperone and youth-sponsored relationships. A lot of you guys will be in the same bedroom in different beds. We're not asking anybody to share a bed. But one of the ways that we help keep camp affordable is in such housing situations. We look for really affordable housing. It's not luxurious, and we don't offer massages, and we don't clean your game for you, but we have really affordable camps. The mission of HerUpland is that we don't want price to be a barrier for someone coming. And while we realize that price is, of course, a subjective conversation with many folks and what people can afford, if you look at a standard 2 or 3 day hunting camp, they're usually $3,000 to $5,000. So the fact that we can give you a 5-day hunting camp for $850 is something that we do pride ourselves on, and we work really hard to keep that cost down for you. Our location, we are going to be staying at Cave Creek Ranch, which all of you received an email about, as well as the address. The area was chosen for its diversity of game. It's a really unique area of Arizona. And one thing that we want you all to be able to experience is multiple types of falconry, because oftentimes in a falconry situation, you are limited to only what's commonly practiced in your area, which is fine, but we want you to be able to realize all that's out there, because in almost every area of the country, there's an opportunity for upland game and an opportunity for mammalian species, whether that's rabbits or squirrels. And so we want you to be able to see both. We will have hawkers out there for cottontail, for jackrabbit, for smaller birds, for quail. In that area, there's also 3 species of quail, which is really unique. You'll get to see how varied of an environment quail can live in, and you'll also get to see how varied an environment cottontail can live in. You're also going to see a number of different types of falconry in terms of birds flown. So we've got accipiters and goshawks coming. We've got merlins and kestrels and microhawks coming. We've got Lauren coming with her eagles. We've got Harris hawks, which are one of the more traditional classic form of falconry in America right now. It's sort of what everybody's getting into. That'll be very similar to red-tailed hawking, which is of course what everyone starts with for the most part as an apprentice. So we're hoping everyone is going to get to see a wide variety of falconry and know everything that's available to you. And that is partially available to us because of the area that we've chosen. I mentioned in the email I sent out that we asked everyone to please keep our location secret. There is a concept in hunting called hotspotting, which is where you share your pictures and your success of a hunt and you tell where it is. And then all of a sudden, all the freeloaders who don't want to do their own research about how to find good hunting areas show up and destroy that area. They overhunt it, they overrun it, they don't give it rest time. And all of a sudden you've lost a hunting field. And in HerUpland, we very much respect the land that we hunt on, as well as the people who've shared their land with us. So this specific location was shared with us by our relationship with Sky Island Falconry, and we want to respect that and not overrun this place with people because it is an incredibly cool area. So as you're posting, we love being tagged in your photos. Please share, please tag us, tag anybody that's willing to be tagged. All that stuff is fine. But we ask that you please just list your location as Southeast Arizona. That won't be much of a surprise to anyone because if you're in Arizona and you're seeing 3 species of quail, there's a very, very small range in which you can do that. So that won't be giving too much away. But please don't necessarily share the location we're basing out of or the spots or the towns which you're hunting in, okay? Krista says she's done. Krista, do you want to hop in and give us a quick introduction to you as one of our mentors for this camp?
Sure. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, hear you fine.
Hello? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm driving through a monument, so sometimes I lose service. So hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm Carissa. I'm with Sky Island Falconry. I've been practicing falconry for 6 years, and I'll be helping Jamaica and going hand in hand with Jamaica to run the shows with Sky Island. And I've been a falconer for 6 or 7 years. I honestly don't remember. And I will be flying my Harris hawk after jackrabbits.
Awesome. We're so stoked to have Carissa. She's on both sides. She's going to be mentoring through Sky Island and helping you guys with some of the hands-on experience, getting to actually handle birds, as well as taking you hunting with her Harris hawk. So super stoked for that. Okay, next topic of conversation. HerUpland, as well as this camp, are sponsored by OnX. They are OnX, for those who don't know, is an app that happens on your phone. It's just a little red X. I don't know if you can see it in the top corner of my screen there. That little red X is OnX. And what it is a land ownership and boundaries map. So as you pull it up, this is going to be hard to see, but it gives you little, I'm trying to see if it'll come into focus. It probably won't. Nope, it's not going to. Gives you land ownership lines, and everywhere you are, you can click on any specific property and it'll tell you who owns it. It's one of the most important tools in any hunting arsenal because in order to legally hunt, you need to either have permission on the land, and OnX will tell you who owns it so that you can go find permission, or it'll tell you if it's public land. We will be using OnX pretty heavily during camp. I think all of the falconers use it. And I suggest that each of you have it as well, because part of what you're going to be doing is learning how to scout and find fields, and OnX is going to be a critical part of that. So I would like a quick either show of hands or chime in. If you do not presently have OnX, please let me know, because we'd love to get you a discount code to download it. And if you already do have it, no worries, you'll be getting another HerUpland discount code for your renewal. So if you do not have it, please chime in.
I don't have it.
I don't have it.
Okay, Diane. Isabella.
Jane does not have it.
Jane, great. Anybody else not have OnX?
I have the app, but I think I just have like a free version, so it doesn't have a lot of features.
Okay, Emma, we'll get you on a subscribed version because the free version I think only lasts for a week and then it doesn't give you much else after that.
This is Erica. I don't have the app either.
Okay, Erica.
Do
Who
you
else do we have?
happen if you can share it between household members?
The app
Yeah,
is
can.
tied.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sabrina, I didn't mean to jump in there, but my husband and I do share ours. So as long as your login is under an email address, I am going to say the downfall with that is when you put your spots on there for birds, your husband will go to them and hunt them.
So yes, short answer is as long as you're sharing an email, it'll be on two things, but everything you do have is going to be overlapped. So Kat, do you guys have Onyx?
My husband has it, and I mean, when I'm with him, we just use it on his phone, but I don't have it on mine.
Okay. Anybody else not have Onyx on this call? Okay, awesome. I'll reach out to you guys afterwards with what we need to do to get you Onyx, because also prior to camp, we will be having a webinar with them to specifically teach you how to use it and some of the features, which are going to be great for camp, but more important when you get home. So you'll want to learn all of that. I've been using Onyx for years, and every single one I sit in, I learn about some new feature. And so I'll be sitting in as well because they're constantly upgrading and updating. And like I said, I learn something new every time. So you guys will be hearing about that as camp gets closer. We're going to combine that with our quail camp as well. And so it'll be pretty close to camp, like within the 2 or 3 week window right before camp. So it's free. Okay, which brings me to land access permits. We are going to be hunting in Arizona, and majority of what we'll be hunting is going to be state land. State land in Arizona is public access, but it's all posted as permit required. And the permit to be on it is a hunting license. So Arizona has a very sweet program where you can buy just the days that you actually need for your license. But anybody who accesses state land is required to have a hunting permit. And that doesn't matter if you're hunting, hiking, mountain biking, bird watching, whatever. You need a hunting permit. So we'll be sending everybody links to where you can purchase your permit. You'll only need it for the days that we're going to be on land, on public land, which is likely going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you would need a 4-day permit. In order to get your permit, you do need to have had hunter safety. So if you have had hunter safety, that's great. If you have a permit in your current state, a hunting permit in your current state, you likely already have hunter safety and you can use that in Arizona. If you've never taken a hunter safety course, and this includes all of our kiddos, all of our youth sponsored, if you've never had a hunting permit and you've never been through a hunter's ed course, please start that now. There are options online for almost every state. It's not super expensive. There's also hands-on courses. So if you'd like to go hands-on wherever you're at, you can sign up for an actual hands-on course. Online might be easier to get into right now since we are in hunting season, and everybody that's not got their hunting license that gets invited on a hunt panics and has to get their hunter ed done. So if you can't find an online one, do feel free to do it online. But my suggestion now is if you've never had hunter's ed, get it done now so that you can purchase your permit when the time comes, because you will need a permit in order to access the public lands that we're going to be on in Arizona. Are there any questions or comments on that? Or Carissa, do you have anything to add to that since you're native?
It all sounded good to me. I got like the last end of it because I cut out of service, but it sounded like everything you said was spot on.
Okay. Anybody have questions
Sabrina,
about permit? Yeah, Natalie.
Yeah, this is Natalie. Are you going to send that information in an email or something?
We will. So after I'm done here, I'm going to summarize all this into an email. Maybe not tonight because I want to go have dinner with my husband, but maybe tomorrow. I'll summarize this whole call in an email. You'll get the recording, and we'll also send you relevant links, including places where you can get hunter's ed if you've never had it and where you buy your permit for Arizona.
I had a question about the hunter education course.
You bet.
You said it was, there are accessible online ones. Are they all qualifying for the Arizona hunting license, or is there one specific that you have to do?
Let's check the Arizona website and make sure that whatever we have qualifies in Arizona. I do know that Arizona honors other states' hunting licenses, and I know that because I'm an out-of-state hunter in Arizona as well. So as long as your state, if you've ever had a hunting license in your state, they will honor that. But we'll double check the Arizona website to just make sure if there's a specific one that they require. There's a national provider right now that I believe all the states honor. So we'll just triple check that they do accept it as well. And we'll make sure that link is included in the email or provide you information if it's not.
Great, thank you.
You betcha. Any others? Okay, perfect. I want to hop briefly into dogs. I don't want to spend too much time here because I know this conversation is limited to the folks who are bringing dogs. Oh, perfect. Courtney posted in the chat the link to it's hunter-ed.com. That's the federal one that pretty much everybody honors. So if you want to hop in the chat and check out the link that Courtney just posted, that is, she's listed as HerUpland. That is the national provider that I was speaking about. So I do want to quickly talk about dogs for those who are bringing them. Courtney, I believe, has some information specific from the facility. Are you available right now to share that, Courtney?
Yes, sorry, it is dinner time here, so that's why I turned my camera off. Okay, so I did talk to the owner of the lodge today at Cave Creek Ranch where we're staying. And because we do not have a full camp, he is going to be open of the lodging to the public. And with that, so the ranch doesn't typically allow dogs to stay there. So they're doing us a favor for the falconry camp and for our quail camp that is there the following weekend. And so he is asking, because part of the experience and the diversity that is really unique to this area is the wildlife and the birds that are there right there on property. And a lot of people come to stay here for that experience. And so with dogs being on the property during that week and being able to open up some of the cabins to the public, he is asking that the people that are bringing dogs, and it doesn't look like really not many of you are here. I think maybe we have one or two that are on the call, and Sabrina will have to get an exact count just to get back with Reed about it. But that when you are letting out the dogs, that they're going from the cabin and walking just immediately off the property, which I think is a couple 100 yards. If you can drive them off the property that little ways to when you're walking them, and that way too, there is public land nearby if you want to be able to run them off leash. But he just wants to make sure that the dogs on property are not scaring away the wildlife and that experience for the other people that will be there. Also in cabin, and I think this has already been touched on in your other information, but the dogs do need to remain crated when they are in the cabin. And that is again, because they don't normally allow dogs on the property. So
I just have a question. I'm one of the people bringing my dog. If you don't have a car, because you said to drive to the end of the property, or is there potential maybe if there's someone who can give me a ride with them when they take their dog, just because I don't have a car, but
yeah, and I think too, we can look at that situation, Isabella, of which lodge you're going to be in so that you are the closest, kind of on the way out there, not too far from the property, that you can maybe even walk down that main lane and accomplish that.
Yeah, awesome. I don't mind walking any distance. It's more whatever the owner's comfortable with.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. And you do have a crate for your dog then as well for the cabin?
Yeah, I think I had checked in with one person regarding, she respects the soft-sided crate because I'm flying in, if that's an okay option. She's not, honestly, if you put her in anything with a door, she'll just stay in it. So
yeah, absolutely. That works.
Perfect. Thanks, Courtney. So like Courtney said, We are not allowed to have the dogs off leash in camp. And we want to just minimize the contact of the other people with our dogs. Additionally, we've been warned by multiple people, including the owners and some of our mentors, that there are incredibly aggressive javelina there, probably that have been accustomed to people due to it being a camp, and also due to the fact that there's bird feeders out, and bird feeders naturally tend to spill and contaminate feeding areas for other wildlife. And so these javelina are particularly accustomed to people and dogs, and we've been warned that they will attack a dog on site. So of course, no dogs off leash in camp, but we're also going to minimize just dogs outside in camp, period, as much as possible. Even the falconers who are bringing dogs, our dogs are going to go straight from their kennels in the camp to the kennels in the truck and go to the field. We're not going to spend any time with them out. We also want to emphasize that we do not allow dogs in any of the seminars, in any of the like meal areas, or out with the other hawks when they're flying. We don't like them in the seminar and meal areas, just again to kind of keep relations. We've had issues in the past where people have rude dogs or dogs that table serve, or just are generally unpleasant, and we've found it again much easier to maintain relationships with people when we don't have to tell them their dog is stupid. So please don't make us do that. Just keep your dog outside of all of the areas. Please don't make us ask you again for that. Please just keep your dogs in the cabins when we are in camp. When we go out to fly, if you have your own car and are bringing a dog, that's perfectly acceptable. Don't have them out when the falconers are flying. But if you have a chance afterwards and they give you permission, if all the birds are put up and you've gotten permission to turn your dog out, then by all means feel free to do so. So for those who are bringing dogs, suggesting that you have a truck or car to be able to transport them and keep them in a crate and be able to run them out in the open once we have that opportunity after the birds fly. So if there's any questions or concerns about dogs, feel free to ask them now. If it's not something you want to ask now, you can feel free to text or email me. Happy to answer those. We love dogs, but we also really want to keep everybody safe, dogs included, and in the field. This just isn't going to, most of our camps are designed to have you bring your dog in the field. And this just isn't one because we do have raptors. So, yeah. Any questions? Shoot them my way.
I just have one more question. Loosely related to the dogs. Is there a map of the grounds or an arrangement of the cabins that they offer guests, or is available just so I can understand the distance from where essentially where dogs can be? I just want to make sure I have a best understanding of that.
Yeah, that's a great, that is a great question. And I think everyone bringing dogs would like to know that, so we know the best route to safely get them out. So I'm sure Cave Creek has some sort of a map on their website. And if we can get that and modify it with an arrow to dog area, we'll do so and include that. So I'm going to write that on my notes.
Awesome. Thank you.
We'll include that in the follow-up email for everybody. So there's some context to that. And again, we'll do our best as well to make sure the dog people are as close to that as possible. So quick get out there.
I can probably put that together for you as well, Sabrina, just using Onyx. For those of you for those of you that have Onyx already, you can just jump on there now or whenever you want to be able to see where the property line ends and where public land starts. But I will put a map together just so that it's a little bit more efficient to navigate.
That'd be awesome. Super awesome. Okay, thanks, Courtney. I'll ping you for that. Either to send it out or include the link to it or whatever with the email. And the last thing I want to address before we go into open conversation is fitness. Falconry is a hunting intensive or a hiking intensive sport. There's also sprinting involved. Whenever a bird catches something or leaves the fist to chase something, we sprint. So in order to be able to really enjoy your time at this camp, I'm going to suggest everybody, if you're not already, get on a walking program. Start walking. If you like sprinting, throw in some sprints too, but at least get comfortable with a good power walk for a bit of time. you'll have the ability to choose your hunts. We'd love for everybody to see all of the birds fly, but if it comes to a time when you have to choose between one or the other, we'd like you to be able to choose a flight style that you either want to see or that is close to your flight style that you'll be having at home. So there may be some opportunity to self-select for slightly lower cadenced walks, but certainly one of the coolest things you're going to get to see while you're there is an eagle walk, because not many people get to experience that in the US. And we affectionately refer to those as death marches. It's like everybody in a line, and sometimes it's 10 miles of just death march across the desert. So everybody, please start your hiking. Get power hiking fit. Have really good shoes. I guess that's another thing to address, is sort of attire that you need to bring when you come. Bring really good shoes. You are going to put a lot of miles on them. If you have the ability to bring 2 shoes so you can rotate them out, feel free to do so as well. Sometimes it's nice to give your feet a rest, especially if you're not used to that much hiking. Bring really good shoes. The desert is not as pokey a place as people lead you to believe. Don't put too much effort into brush pants or chaps or anything like that. A good hiking pant that you're comfortable moving in is going to be of higher value than some super heavy, thorny, brushy pant. I would discourage you from wearing yoga tights. That's not quite enough protection. But any other sort of hiking pant, or even jeans, if you're comfortable in jeans. I spent the first, I think, 8 years of my falconry in jeans, 0 issue with it. So something a little stiff that'll protect you from light pokies and grasses you'll want to wear. But again, I don't think anybody needs to go through the effort of packing chaps or any significant brush pant. It's just not that kind of environment there. Isabella, do you have a question?
Yeah, sorry. I never know how to jump in on these calls. I just had a question, just because I live in an urban environment and my experience is so irrelevant that I use like lists of like best gear brands. Do you have any brands maybe you could send along and like examples of what you mean, just so I don't buy the totally wrong thing?
Yeah, but I wouldn't put a lot of money into it either. If you have some jeans you're comfortable hiking in, throw those in.
Oh, I mean, more shoes. Like I have a few different hiking shoes, but I'm not really sure what the ground looks like.
Oh, that's a great question. So to clarify for everyone in terms of like types of ground you're going to be covering, we will have a variety of flat and rocky ground. So Arizona is really famous for this like golf, not golf, what is it, like softball to bowling ball size rocks that are everywhere. And walking over those can be a little treacherous. So if you have a boot with a little bit of ankle support, I would suggest bringing that. If you don't, fine, not such a big deal. The falconers specifically like to wear the ankle boots because we are often not able to watch our feet. We're watching our dogs, our hawks, and what might be running out in front of us. And so as much ankle support so that we don't have to pay so much attention to our feet. Anytime you're not carrying a bird, it's not quite such that a concern. Any hiking boot that you have that you're comfortable in, or even if you have a trail runner shoe, if you are a trail runner or an ultra runner and you've got a shoe that you really like, that's perfectly acceptable as well. So again, anything you're comfortable in that will withstand some good solid desert hiking is fine. I don't want anybody spending a ton of money on boots. And certainly once you're there at camp, you're welcome to interview all of us about what kind of boots we wear and then maybe spend your money after that. But I wouldn't dump too much cash into a tire just coming there. My only other comment is layers. The desert is incredibly cold during the night and it can be incredibly warm during the day, especially relative to the temperatures you'll get at night. So bring layers. When we start hawking in the morning, you're going to be freezing cold. First couple of sprints you take after a rabbit, you are going to be incredibly warm. So jackets with layers underneath, usually a base layer, a sweatshirt and a jacket, or a base layer and a flannel and a jacket, something like that. A 3-layer system tends to work well for people. So do bring your layers. Headwear is entirely up to you. I don't think anybody that's coming has a bird that cares about your headwear. If you like beanies, bring beanies. If you like a hat, a visor, a cowboy hat, whatever, bring that. And of course, falconry is the most extreme bird watching sport you can do. So if you have a camera and you like taking pictures, bring it. You will have lots of opportunity to use it. Any general questions about camp? That wraps up the formal part of what I need to speak about. But anybody that has general comments or questions can chime in. And then once we end camp, we will hang tight for anyone that needs to arrange travel.
I have a question about attire.
Great.
What about rattlesnake chaps?
That's a great question. So I'm going to give you the politically correct answer and the reality answer. The politically correct answer is that there are indeed snakes in Arizona, and if it makes you feel safe to bring rattlesnake chaps, feel free to do so. The reality answer is that at the end of January, most of us are no longer concerned about rattlesnakes. We generally don't wear chaps anyway. I don't actually know any Arizona falconers that do wear chaps, I don't think. So while they are a risk, it's just not something that we frequently run into. If it makes you feel safe, feel free to do so. If it's not something you have or not something you want to bring, I can tell you the falconers who are there, I don't think will be wearing them. Carissa, do you disagree with any of those statements?
No, when I have seen them on these cold like months, because you know they're always out, they're usually so cold that they're like very slow. So I only wore snake boots when I had Evelyn in the field with me because I couldn't watch where I was going and watch my hawk and pay attention to my child. But now I wear nothing at all.
Yeah, it's a great point. There's a reasonably high likelihood that we will see snakes. It's not an uncommon thing to see them. It's just, it's more uncommon to have an interaction with them because they're just cold and put up. The dogs typically don't bother them. We step around them, we take a picture and appreciate them and move on. So again, if it makes you feel safe, feel free to do so. Certainly not a requirement and not something most of the falconers will be doing, especially that time of year. But it's a great question and certainly relevant for the area. Other questions?
Maybe if nobody else has another question, I come from like no hunting background whatsoever. Are there any maybe that if you have online courses, like I mean the hunting one we have to take, but if there's any other resources that you think we should read up on before heading out? So I just don't want to be behind everybody else on basics. If there's anything I can catch up on before I get out there.
Sure. And no concerns about that. This is what we call these camps. We call them our intro to hunting camps. And the goal is to take someone who knows nothing and has never been in the field and safely get them hunting and confident in the field by the time they leave. So other than having the basic footwear and clothing that you need to be comfortable, our goal is that you will leave with all that information. It's not something you should have to come in with.
Thank you.
You betcha. And I would guess my only other comments are for those of you who are already falconers or rehabbers or whatever, if you want to bring your glove, feel free to do so. There will be opportunity to handle birds. I believe Sky Island is going to bring enough gloves for everybody anyway. So if you don't want to have it or don't pack it, don't be concerned about that. But as a falconer myself, I know it's incredibly awkward when you put on someone else's gloves. So if you already have a glove that you know, love, and want to bring, do feel free to do so. Same with any of your braided gear. If you just want to bring it and show it off or ask questions, feel free to do so. We will be braiding gear on site. Everyone's going to leave with a set of anklets, jesses, and a leash with a swivel, hopefully braided to the size of the bird you hope to fly. So anybody, if you want to bring stuff, feel free to do so, but don't feel obligated. There's going to be enough birds there with equipment on that we'll have plenty of examples. Any other questions?
I have a question. Can the like the people helping out, can they participate in the braiding?
Heck yeah, they
I would
can.
love to. Okay. I was like, man, I would love to learn that.
Yeah, mentors get to participate in everything. It's part of the benefit of being a volunteer.
Oh, sweet. All right.
Yeah, we'll even take turns. You know, a lot of the mentors, I think, we'll work out our flight schedule and when we want to fly birds, but I think there'll be opportunity for the mentors to even get out with the other falconers because we're going to have a couple really notable falconers there. We've got, of course, Lauren coming, who I will include her 60 Minutes clip in this email if you've not been familiar with Lauren. Anytime a falconer gets approached in the US, the first thing that someone says to us is, oh, I saw this thing on the TV where this woman went to Kazakhstan and flew eagles in Mongolia. Do you know her? And after this camp, you'll all be able to say, yeah, because that's Lauren. And so Lauren will be there with her eagles. You're going to get to fly with her. Anybody who follows falconry right now might follow Tyler Sladen, and he is probably like the premier quail hawker in all of the United States right now. He's going to be there with his bazillion of dogs and his goth hawk as well as his wife, and he'll be taking people out for hunts with him as well. So I think even the mentors are going to want to take some time to hunt with some of the other people that we have there, and we're going to do our best to make sure that that happens. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Courtney, anything you want to add before we dismiss everybody and do a little logistics talk?
I don't think so, Sabrina. You covered all the things. We are going to be having an Onyx webinar, like she mentioned earlier. I think it's going to be the first week of January. I'm still nailing down the exact date and time with the Onyx instructors, but that is going to be the one that you would or should attend. It's a lot of information. They cover a ton of things, and really it just shortens your learning course there at camp to get the basics out of the way. So once we have that date and time nailed down, we'll get it emailed out to you guys. And that'll be joined with our quail camp because it's at the same location. So more questions, more people is always a good thing.
Awesome. And you're going to, one of the things we're going to discuss in that seminar is how to download offline maps. So if you're outside of the service area, how do you have maps to make sure that you can safely navigate yourself back to civilization, or in an emergency, tell someone where you're at. So please do plan to be there. It's going to be really important for everybody because we will all be out driving and roaming and walking in places. And while I don't anticipate anybody getting separated from the group, the reality is this is the wilderness. So I really want everybody to have those skills as well as those maps available to either navigate themselves back to safety or assist someone else in doing so. Any other questions, comments, concerns before we dismiss you all?
I just want to say I'm just incredibly grateful that you guys are doing this, and so looking forward to meeting everybody.
We're super stoked to have you too, Jane. This is going to be super cool. It's a test program for us. This is, like I said, it's sort of adjacent to HerUpland and not directly into it, since this isn't focused on bird dogs like most of the rest of our camps are. So depending on how this goes, we'll be discussing how this proceeds or doesn't in the future. So please come with open minds and feedback. We want to hear from you, and we want to know how this goes and what you think about it. All right, if there are no other questions, I am going to dismiss all of those who do not need help coordinating rides and logistics from airports. Anybody who is needing help or looking for carpools to get themselves to camp, please hang tight. I've got our little attendee sheet open, and we can start putting those connections together. So everybody else, you are more than welcome to dismiss yourself. Again, this will be recorded. I'll send out the recording and summary notes and all the links we talked about within the next, give me the next day or two, because we talked about a lot of stuff we need to add in here that I wasn't originally thinking about. So those are great ideas, and I want to make sure they're all included for you. And everyone have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, people hanging out here. Okay, people have updated this list even since I started adding, so I'm gonna update my little list here. So we've got for Phoenix, those guys, Diane and Margot coming to Tucson. Jane coming into Tucson. 30th, the day before. Jane, are you still on here? Nope, she must have herself taken care of. She's got a Phoenix, Tucson, Sarah to Tucson. Okay, so for those still on the call, the Tucson people are Diane and Margot, Jane and Sarah, none of which are on this call. So I'm going to assume either they have themselves figured out or will reach out to me. The folks we have on the call still. Emma, I have no notes for you on your travel situation. What is your travel plan?
I have not booked a flight yet. I figured it would be easier to touch base and see what's most convenient for whoever's available. And I'm
Gotcha.
around for it. So
good. Okay, I'm gonna put you down as flying, but not booked yet. Who else am I missing here? Isabella, I know your status. Gabriella, I know your status. Alex and Juliana, I know your status. Cat. Hey, Cat. Oh, different Cat. Sorry, we have two cats now. Cat, what's your game plan? I don't think I have notes for you.
I'm with Gabby. We're flying in together.
Oh, okay. Gabrielle and Cat. And you guys don't have a car at this time?
We are renting a car, but we're willing to have somebody else come with us if they're flying into Phoenix and our times align.
Great. What time are you coming in? I don't see times listed for. Oh wait, I see departure time. What time are you arriving?
Our flight. Oh, go ahead, Kat.
No, it's okay. You probably have it in front of you. I was just gonna guess.
So we're flying Southwest via Milwaukee. But our flight should land around 11:45.
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday the 31st, correct. So I'm estimating around noon. We should probably be departed from the plane.
Okay, perfect. Isabella, what time are you landing in Phoenix?
Yeah, I believe it was around that time. Let me pull up. I thought I put it.
Oh, you did. Your arrival is 10:25 a.m.
Oh, so that's great.
Perfect. Sarah, I misspoke. She's going into Tucson. And then Alex. So you guys are the unique ones because you won't actually be at the airport. Can you get yourselves back to the airport for a carpool?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I've got family in Mesa that's just like 20 minutes from the airport. So they could get me anywhere at any time because I'm coming in a couple days early. I just won't have a vehicle to drive to camp.
You could get yourselves back to the airport and around that area though. You just can't get all the way to camp.
Correct.
Okay. And that's a two body haul for any of those listening. Alex also has her youth with her, Juliana. So
and I small dog, 25 pounds, 20 to 25.
Okay. Gabriella or Kat, do you guys know what kind of car you guys are renting yet?
They didn't give us too many details, but I think it's a small SUV that we're renting.
Okay, so we might be able to pile some bodies in there. Can you let us know how many seats you have? Because we also have one of the mentors Jamaica, is going to be coming through Phoenix. She's got room, I think, for one body though. So that might be Isabella.
Yeah, I mean, we discussed in a separate thread. I think the only concern was my dog, but she is trained to, she can sit in like the footwell of the front seat, so it's a possibility. Jamaica was just concerned about that as a space issue because she's bringing the birds.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, she can sit confined. I think that could work out. So if she could pick you up, and then Gabrielle and Kat, if you guys had 2 extra seats in your truck, in your SUV, Alex and Juliana could meet you at the airport at noon for a travel over.
Yeah, I looked up our confirmation and it looks like we're renting a mid-size SUV, so something similar to like a Toyota RAV4 size.
Cool. Super cool. So can I put you guys as responsible adults in charge of coordinating yourselves? Alex, Gabriella, Kat, can you guys handle looking at your phone numbers on the spreadsheet and getting in contact with each other?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect. That'll work out great. And then Isabella, it sounds like you're pretty well connected with Jamaica now. So let's pursue that. Let's see if she can grab you and your dog on her way out of the airport or on her way through Phoenix.
Yeah, and I coordinated my travel to align with her travel already. She was just concerned if she had to bring like 3 people, there might not be room for me, but now that's just me, I think we're all set.
Perfect. That sounds easy. So we do still have Emma in flux here. Emma, sounds like are you hoping to rent a car or not rent a car, Emma?
Am I muted?
We can hear you now.
Okay. Ideally not rent a car, but it's an option. I guess it just seemed kind of I didn't want to do it and just have a car sitting around for a week. Didn't make sense.
Yeah, so one note I guess I can talk about for the crew that's on here, since these are our flyers. We will be driving every day of camp to fields, and as well as we can't even do your hands-on falconry time in camp because of the limitations of their preserved status. We can't have potentially deadly raptors flying around their preserved animals. So every day of camp, you will be traveling off-site. I'm gonna make a note of that in the meeting, in the email too. So there will be certain, we can do our best to align groups to where people who don't have cars are with people who have cars, and certainly some of the mentors will have extra space in their rigs. I can fit more than most. I don't know what everybody else's car situations are going to be though in terms of mentors. So we do like to try to carpool to fields just because it's nice to not have huge strings of cars, but having a vehicle with you will allow you more freedom. Of course, if you are the driver of the car, then you get to choose where that car goes. So anybody that has their own car, you will be in charge of where you and all your people end up for the day. So if you're debating not to or not get a car based on it sitting all day, that's not a concern. It will not be sitting all week. They will be driven quite literally every single day, sometimes multiple times. And then we've got our Tucson crew. So I don't have a lot of details on their flights, but we have 4 people coming into Tucson that opted not to stay. So I'm guessing they have their transportation handled. I'm trying to look at their names. Some are coming in early. Yeah, they didn't give me any details about their flight time, so I'm just assuming they're getting their own cars. Okay, so I guess Emma, that's that's where everything stands. Sounds like we can probably get you from Phoenix, whether it's in the carpool, the Alex Gabriella Cat carpool, or if it's an extra body we need to throw in with Jamaica. There's one other person I know who's going to be coming through Phoenix that we could probably throw a body into if we needed to.
Sweet. I'm gonna look at the rent-a-car prices and see if I'm able to, since I'm not 25 yet.
Oh, gotcha.
But if I can rent a car, I might, but then I'll get back to you guys on that within the next couple days and then figure that out. Is there a time that would be best if I did fly into Phoenix to plan on to try and work around everyone else?
Looks like if you can be there by noon, that's when most of the other bodies are hitting. So if you can be there by or before noon, that would be ideal. And if you can't get a car, just let us know too, because we can figure out, like I said, either someone else driving through the area, or if everybody's going into Phoenix, I can just take a day to go drive out to Phoenix and pick everybody up. It'll be a long drive, but I can fit a lot of butts in my truck. So
cool. I'll work that out in the next couple days then.
okay, perfect. Yeah, keep us posted.
Oh, and one thing to note, Kat and I have a really late flight out of Phoenix where our departure time is around like 8:30 at night. So we wouldn't be leaving until later on Sunday. We're going back to Phoenix.
Okay. Brittany, do you know what our checkout time is Sunday? Do we have a time when we have to be cleared out of those cabins?
No, he did not give me one, but I will see if I can't find that, I will just shoot him an email and get that.
I have a flight actually leaving on Sunday, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to leave camp Saturday night or really early Sunday morning. So I know that's on me, but I probably will not require a ride home.
Okay, that's you and Juliana both. You guys will figure out transportation to get out of there.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, I don't particularly want to ask a mentor to do a late night drive like that, because then they also have to turn around and drive back and wake up at 5 a.m. to take care of their birds. So
I would not expect anyone to do that.
So I will let you figure out your departure on that one.
Sounds good, thanks.
Yeah, you betcha. And everybody else, I think as long as you have reasonable Sunday departures, we'll figure out how to get you there, whether it's with Jamaica going home or if I take the morning off and shuttle some folks over or whatever. We'll figure out how to get you back if there's not a logical carpool with other people that are leaving. Okay? Anything else?
I have one question for you, Sabrina.
Yeah, you bet.
Do we need to bring coffee?
Only if you're super picky, but I drink a lot of coffee and Courtney has promised me I will not be of want. I can say I've attended enough of these camps that the coffee coffers are generally very full.
Excellent, thanks.
Yes. Any other really important questions? Those are the important ones. Okay, well, you guys all have my contact information and it will again be in the email. If there's anything I can do to help connect you or move things around for you, feel free to reach out. But otherwise, I'm super stoked. Keep an eye out for the recap email, and then of course, keep an eye out for the OnX webinar, which will be coming up shortly. Well, not super shortly, shortly before camp. And we'll see you all there.
So excited.
I'm so excited too. This is going to be so awesome.
We're stoked. Thanks, Sabrina.
You bet, you guys. Everybody have a great night. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Sabrina, do you have a couple of minutes to stay on with me?
I do. Once let me kill the recording here.